Have you ever just looked at a building and wondered, what makes this thing great? Well, today we're prying open the architect's secret toolkit. We're going to dive into the fundamental principles that turn simple stuff, like steel and concrete, into structures that literally take your breath away.
I mean, really think about it. How do you go from a messy construction site, just a pile of raw materials, to a soaring skyscraper or a beautiful, serene temple? What's the secret sauce that bridges the gap between a bunch of stuff and a true work of art?
Well, here's the thing. It's not magic. It's actually a powerful and surprisingly practical toolkit of principles. It's kind of like the essential grammar of architecture. And in this explainer, we're going to open up that toolkit together and see exactly what's inside. So let's start at the very beginning with the first lines an architect ever draws.
Right, so before a single wall goes up, every great design starts on the page, right? The very first move is to establish a foundational framework, basically creating an underlying order that brings some logic to a completely blank canvas. Our first tool from the kit is called the datum. Now, this is the main reference point for the entire design. You can think of it like the spine of a book. It holds all the pages together. Or maybe it's a consistent floor level that everything else gets measured against. It's the quiet anchor that creates order out of potential chaos. In building on that datum, we have the axis. Okay, this one is an invisible line that organizes everything around it. It's what creates pathways, it directs where you look, and it gives a design a really clear sense of direction and purpose. It's that line that leads you from the grand entrance of a building straight to its most important feature. So we have our guiding lines. Now what? Well, now we need principles to arrange all the big pieces. You know, the rooms, the windows, the columns. This is where we get into the real organizational logic of a design.
And a huge part of that logic is symmetry. Our brains are just hardwired to appreciate it. Why? Because it creates this deep feeling of balance, harmony, and order. The most common type you'll see is bilateral symmetry, where one side of a building is a perfect mirror image of the other.
And you just can't talk about symmetry without talking about the Taj Mahal. It is, perhaps, the world's most famous and stunning example of this principle. Every single element on the left is perfectly, precisely mirrored on the right, and that creates a sense of profound stability and just timeless beauty.
Okay, next up are two principles that add another really cool layer of logic. First, you've got hierarchy. This is what tells you what's important. So, an architect might make the main entranceway bigger than all the other doors, or place a giant central dome right at the heart of a building to grab your attention. Then there's rhythm. Rhythm creates flow. Just think of the repetition of columns or windows or arches. They create a visual beat that guides your eye all the way through the space.
We've organized our spaces, but how do we make them genuinely beautiful? You know, pleasing to the eye? Well, this brings us to our final phase, the principles that give a building its aesthetic touch. This might sound a little strange, but for centuries, artists and architects have been asking this exact question. Is there some kind of mathematical key to beauty? A magic number, if you will? A lot of people believe the answer is a resounding yes. And believe it or not, there is. It's approximately 1.618. You might know it as the golden section or the golden ratio. And what's wild is that it's found everywhere in nature, from the spirals of a seashell to the proportions of the human body. Architects use this ratio, also called phi, to create what we call pleasing proportions. Now, proportion is really just the relationship between the different parts of a design. And when those parts relate to each other through the golden section, we instinctively feel like they're in harmony. It's probably because our pattern-seeking brains recognize this fundamental ratio from the natural world all around us. And to finish off that aesthetic toolkit, architects play with three final principles. You've got scale, which makes sure a building feels right for the actual humans inside it. Then there's balance, which creates a sense of visual equilibrium, and that can be perfectly symmetrical or even purposefully asymmetrical. And finally, contrast, which is all about putting different textures or colors or light and dark spaces side by side to create some real visual excitement. Okay, you have seen the tools in the toolkit. Now it is time to test your architect's eye with a quick little pop quiz. You ready for this? First question for you. What do we call that invisible organizing line, the one that's established by 2 points in space? Is it A, datum, B, axis, C, rhythm, or D, hierarchy? And the answer is B, axis. That's the line that gives a design its direction and organizes everything around it. Nicely done. All right, question 2. Which principle is on full glorious display here at the Taj Mahal? Is it A, asymmetrical balance, B, transformation, C, bilateral symmetry, or D, randomness?
Yep, the answer is C, bilateral symmetry. It's that perfect, beautiful mirror image that makes it so unbelievably iconic. And for our final question, when an architect makes a specific feature, like an entrance, way bigger to show you how important it is, which principle are they using? Is it A, rhythm, B, datum, C, hierarchy, or D, symmetry? The answer is C, hierarchy. That's the designer's way of shouting, hey, look over here, this part's important. It makes the most important part of the building stand right out. Great job on the quiz.
So, as we've seen, this whole thing really isn't about magic at all. From the simple organizing power of the axis and the datum to the visual harmony created by things like hierarchy, rhythm, and that golden section, these principles all come together to form a kind of hidden language. You know, the legendary architect Frank Lloyd Wright famously said, "The mother art is architecture." And that is such a powerful idea. These principles aren't just for big, fancy buildings. They are a language that shapes our homes, our cities, and really our entire experience of the world. They give a soul to our civilization.
So the toolkit is officially open. It's yours now. The next time you walk down the street or you enter a new building, look for these principles at work. Because now that you know the secrets, my question for you is, what will you see differently?